All right, hey guys, it's Harlow at Harlow Heslop's Virtual Adventures, and I was trying to think of something different to do for a video today, and I forced Harvey to do this 100 fun questions to ask your significant other, or I guess SL significant other in this case, and he, well, somewhat willingly decided to do it with me. So we're going to go through this 100 list of questions. I have not read these questions really yet. I did a brief glimpse at them and I decided it would be more fun if we just ask these questions to each other, or I'll ask the questions and we'll both answer them, but without really knowing what they are ahead of time. So it's probably going to catch us off guard a little bit, but thought it'd be kind of fun and entertaining and silly. And honestly, I just was kind of in the mood to do something different today. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I did tell Harvey that he does get a free pass to say pass if it's a question he doesn't feel comfortable answering. And I will do the same if I'm looking through here and I'm like, I'm absolutely not answering that question. So, anyway, we'll start with number one. Harvey, are you ready?
Oh, sure. Here we go.
All right. Number one, what's something you always wanted to do as a child but never got to do it?
Something always. You know what? I always wanted to ride on a mini bike slash motorcycle.
That's a good answer.
Never happened.
Well, you could still do that. You can still get on a
Well, sure.
motorcycle.
I've done that as an adult now, but as a child,
I
definitely
see.
not.
I see. All right. What is something that I always wanted to do as a child but never got to do it? I begged my family for like horses, like tons of horses, and it never happened. I guess they're expensive, so I can, looking back on it, I can see why my parents didn't get me like 12 ponies, but as a child, that's what I wanted, so yeah. All right, number two, if you were in a witness protection program, what would be your new name and where would you go?
I'd be Wally, and I'd go to Fargo.
Wally. Oh my God. Wally of all names. I'm gonna change my name to something like something ridiculous. I'm gonna name myself like Candy, and I'm gonna go live in like Montana where no one's gonna find me. Number three, what is the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
Oh, wow. You got me there because I've eaten a lot of things.
Well, tell me some weird things that you've
Okay.
eaten.
All right. So as a kid, I used to go with my uncle to these sportsman club dinners, and yeah, we actually went to this dinner that featured muskrats. And wow, that was a one in a lifetime kind of meal because
Muskrats?
yeah, I won't touch
Um,
that again. That was so greasy.
have you ever eaten squirrel?
Yeah, but he did it right. It was in a stew.
Oh my God, gross, gross, gross. The weirdest thing I've ever eaten was actually a maggot and a cricket. I ate both during a survival week thing we had to do in high school, where we were basically thrown in the woods for like a day, and we had to eat like really gross stuff. And we cooked up the cricket and the maggot in like, I don't even remember what we cooked it up in, but it was really
You made them
disgusting.
crunchy.
Oh, it was so crunchy. It was really gross. I never, ever, ever want to do that again. Other than that, I can't really think of anything overly strange that I've eaten. I ate alligator once, but I don't feel like that's that uncommon, especially if you live in the South. So, number four, what famous artist, dead or alive, would you want to paint your portrait?
Huh. Man, I have no idea.
Yeah,
I really have. Yeah, I've got no idea.
I'm gonna say like Picasso. Let's just fuck my face up as much as possible. I think that would be a good one. That's kind of a hard question unless you're like really know your art. It's kind of hard to think of one off the top of your head.
That's really not my thing either.
Mm.
Yeah.
Number five, what is the dumbest thing you've ever cried about?
Hmm. I'm really not much of a crier at all, but I could tell you the dumbest thing I've seen another adult cry about. Seriously, I saw this woman when her daughter served her a meal, and it just happened to be the luck of the draw. That was like one of the last spoons in there, and she got this tiny, tiny spoon because Thanksgiving, and this woman freaked out. It was like, oh my gosh, why would you disrespect me over giving me this baby spoon?
How
I was like,
dare you give me a tiny spoon? That's
oh my
really
gosh,
funny.
yeah, she ended up in tears. Yeah,
Oh my God.
but no, that was nothing for me. But yeah, that was pretty weird.
So you're not a crier. Interesting. The dumbest thing I've ever cried over, and I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I was in the middle of Trader Joe's one time and I couldn't find olive oil. And I looked and looked and looked. I was trying to find olive oil. It was really crowded in there. And I just burst into tears in the middle of the store because I couldn't find the olive oil in the middle of Trader Joe's. Looking back on it, it was definitely one of my more dramatic moments, but I'm a little embarrassed to admit that, but yeah, I'm kind of a crier sometimes, at least. I think the older I get, the more I cry over dumb shit like olive oil. Number 6, if you could rid the world of one disease, what would it be?
Hmm. Well, you know what? To be honest with you, something jumped right out at me, but I don't know. You may not agree with me on this. Is I'd like to lump all of them together and say I'd like to get rid of cancer.
No, I think that's a good answer. Cancer would be the first thing that crossed my mind. Since you said cancer, I'm going to give a different answer, and I'm going to say Parkinson's disease, since my dad has Parkinson's. So I would definitely like to rid the world of that disease, but also cancer. I mean, cancer's terrible. Awful, awful. Number 7, what board game do you hate the most?
Probably sorry.
I love Sorry. Oh, that sucks. I love Sorry. I think my least favorite board game. I hate to say that I hate it. I like love to hate it and hate to love it, but the board game Risk, because we used to play it with my
Oh
family
yeah.
during the holidays, and we would get into these really, really intense battles, and they would last like, I'm not even kidding you, like days of playing Risk. And I would sit there, and then I'd invest all this time, and then I'd be a sore loser when I lost. So, uh, I mean, I like the game, but I hate it at the same time, if that makes any sense. If you could get away with a crime, what would you? And if yes, what would it be?
Ah, really with crime. Uh, yeah, I can't think of stuff like that.
I think I would either pull a Robin Hood and steal from the rich to give to the poor, or I would go on a little, this is gonna sound really dark, but I'd go on a little murder spree to get rid of
Oh
all of
my
the,
gosh.
all of the animal abusers in the world. You know how I feel about animal abusers, and they can just go away. So, no, I'm not gonna go off and murder a bunch of people, but I mean, if I could get away with it, I'd consider it, right? Um,
Oh wow.
who was your first celebrity crush?
Oh, Farrah Fawcett, hands down.
Oh my God, showing your age right now, just to let you know. I'm gonna show my age as well, and my first celebrity crush was Lance Bass of NSYNC, which is really embarrassing, but I loved him. I just thought he was the best. Um, yeah, okay, we're gonna move on because that's embarrassing. Number 10, what is the worst thing you have ever done as a child, and what was your punishment? Gosh,
uh,
it's gonna be a hard one for me to answer.
uh, yeah, I'm gonna plead the fifth.
Okay, all right. Um, trying to think if I can think of anything that I did. I was a really good kid. Like, I would talk back to my parents and I had an attitude, which I'm sure is no surprise to you whatsoever. But aside from that, I really can't think of anything. So yeah, moving on. Number 11. What is one thing you refuse to share? You're so gonna plead the fifth on this. I don't even know why I just asked you this question. I'm
One
not
thing.
answering this question either, because why would I broadcast something I refuse to share? Or what is one thing you refuse to share? Okay, I guess you can
I,
say,
I know what to share. What I refuse to share. I don't share my Mike and Ike's.
okay, I was viewing this question differently when I was reading this. All right, if we're going that route, what is one thing I refuse to share? I am not good at sharing the bed. I mean, I obviously do, but I like my space and I like my blankets. So I have like my own blankets, my own pillows, like my own space in my bed. Like I don't even like to share it with my pets. Like they get up in my face and I'm like, "Hey, that's my blanket. Go get your own." But yeah. So definitely have a hard time sharing my blankets and my snuggly spaces. Number 12, what are two things you would do if you woke up to find yourself completely invisible?
uh, okay. Wow. I think I would write. I would go outside and pee and write my name.
Are you serious? Of all the things you can do, you're like, I'm gonna go just urinate in public. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
I mean,
If I was completely invisible, I would totally run around naked. I mean, who wouldn't? Come on, let's be
well,
honest.
duh, of
I mean,
course.
that's such an obvious answer. This is gonna sound really creepy, but I think if I was like completely invisible, I'd want to go like, oh my God, no, this sounds really creepy because I don't want to creep on people, but I'd like to like look in people's houses and see like how they've decorated their homes. Like, have you ever, okay, I'm gonna sound like a psycho right now, but have you ever been like walking down the street at night and like people have their lights on their window and their blinds open and it's their fault they've got the
All
blinds open,
right.
they can
Yeah.
close it
Yeah.
and you can kind of see in their house and you're always like, I wonder
Yeah.
how they decorate or whatever. Yeah, I sound like a total creeper. We're moving on. Number 13, describe the worst haircut you've ever had.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. So I was in the Air Force long time ago, and I well, besides the basic training haircut, which they just
The
pretty
high
much
and
shaved
tight
my
or whatever it's
head.
called. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, after that, I was in tech school, and this I would say newish barber, he just had a bad day, and he made my week even worse. See, back then I had because we kept our hair short, the haircuts we'd have to go get a haircut every week because it would grow out too much. That was just what we all did.
Hmm.
So a bad haircut only lasted a week. Well, this one lasted two, and this guy, he just went way too short, and he actually went into you know those things that they're supposed to be safety. Well,
Oh no.
yeah, he caught my skin in there. Yeah.
Oh no, that sounds awful. I don't have a really bad haircut story, but I do have a bad perm story. I used to spend the summers down at my great grandmother's house, and she decided to perm my already curly hair. And this is like in the early 90s, late 80s, maybe late 80s. And so she took my already curly hair and put these like perm roller things in it. So the only way I could describe it is it's like the episode of Friends where they're on vacation and there's high humidity and Monica's hair just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I don't know if you know if I know what you know what I'm talking about right now,
Oh
but
yeah.
yeah, I'm sure many people who are listening, well, the few people who are going to listen to this may know what I'm talking about as well. So, um, number 14, what is your biggest regret?
Hmm. You know what? Those are hard to do
It
because
is, yeah.
everything in your past changes things in your future. So I don't know, man. Because
Or what's something you regret, I guess. Because I'm sitting here going, oh God, what's my biggest regret? And I really don't know the answer myself.
well, put it like this: this one decision that I'm always questioning, and I'm not sure if it's a regret. It's always a matter of whether, did I do the right thing, and what would have been different is I had an opportunity to take one more assignment before I was out of the Air Force, and it would have extended my enlistment by 2 years, and I turned it down. What would have happened if I actually would have?
Taking it, yeah.
Yeah,
It could have changed your whole life. That's interesting.
yeah.
Um, biggest regret or one of my regrets. I regret being such a good girl when I was growing up. Like, All my friends had a really wild high school. They all had a really wild college life, and I really only had like one semester of like wild me during college. Other than that, I was really well behaved. I didn't really party much. I didn't really date much. I really just behaved
It's
and
okay. You can let it out. Your mom's not gonna listen to this.
yeah, I know, right? No, I really was a good girl. I think I regret being a little more adventurous and explore that side of myself more, and I didn't. So I regret that, but that's okay because, you know, it is what it is, and I who knows what would have happened if I made those stupid decisions. So, all right, next one's a very serious question. Number 15.
Oh
Have you ever pooped your pants? And no, not including when you were a baby.
no,
I Can I plead the fifth on this question?
that's fine. Move on. Really?
Uh,
I can't believe that was in there.
I think it's
Okay.
funny. I don't want you to think I'm less attractive, so I'm just not going to answer the question.
Oh God.
16. If you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh, fly, no doubt.
Mine would be teleportation for sure.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, you're regretting
Yeah.
not saying teleportation now, aren't you?
Yeah, but I
Uh-huh.
gotta say, man, for so many years of dreaming about flying, yeah,
Yeah.
that's can't
Flying would
deny
be a
that.
good one. I And if you could fly fast, then it's almost the same as teleportation. You still are able to get places quickly, but it'd be cool to be able to visit people easily and all that. So, number 17. If you could be on the cover of any magazine, which one would you choose?
Fuck, I don't know.
Babe, GQ, come on.
Yeah, that is so not me, real life.
That's a hard question. I I don't know what I would
Yeah,
be on.
no.
I mean, I'm gonna say People magazine because then that would mean I'm like
Oh, there you go.
people are interested in me. I don't know. I really don't have a good answer for that one. That's a
Yeah,
hard
not
one.
me.
18. What song would you sing for your American Idol audition?
Seven Nation Army.
I could see that. All right. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna do I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston because I'm gonna go big or go home, and I'm definitely gonna be going home. We all know how terrible of a singer I am. 19. What's
Oh
the
man.
worst job you've ever had?
Oh, easily. I, for a short time, was a parts clerk, and at an airline, and having to do inventory accounts as that clerk, where the job was literally counting nuts and bolts. No,
Ugh,
done. No.
awful. Sounds awful. The worst job I ever had. It's a close tie between being a filing clerk. I was supposed to be a secretary, but it was a summer job, and I ended up being more of like a filing clerk. So I spent all day in a closet filing away paperwork for a whole summer. It was awful. And I also had a job working at Michael's Arts and Crafts, and while it seemed like a cool job, my boss was really, really crazy, and everyone I worked with was nuts. And I spent all day being called to various aisles because people couldn't reach things off the shelf, and I was the only tall one that worked there. So it got highly annoying very quickly. But that was in high school, and yeah, never going back to that, thank goodness. Number 20, what is the funniest movie you've ever seen?
Oh man, that's hard. I got a
It's hard.
lot of favorite funny movies. I'd have to say I love the Mel Brooks movies from way back when.
Mm-hmm.
And but the thing is now I realize how bad and how politically incorrect they were. I mean, they're outright racist, but at the same time, they were racist to a point to where they were trying to show how stupid it is to be racist
Mm-hmm.
and Blazing Saddles. But you know what? I'll come forward a little bit, and I'll say probably the funniest recent I've seen is Dale and Tuck.
Oh, you cut out.
That
Say that again.
Dale and Tucker versus Evil.
Oh, I haven't
That
seen
is,
that.
oh my gosh, that is a funny movie. It's kind of a spoof on the horror genre.
I'll have to check it out. I probably the funniest movie to me was Bridesmaids, and I don't know why, but I laughed through the whole thing. Like I just think it's so freaking funny. And I'm sure there's so many other movies that I'm just not thinking of right now, but Bridesmaids, for some reason, every single time I've watched it, I crack up. Um, and it's one of those movies that I'm entertained every time I see it. Number 21, if you could trade lives with anyone for a day, who would it be and why?
Oh, that's a hard one to ask.
Hmm.
I like my life. I
That's
don't want to
good.
trade with anybody.
That's a good answer. I like that. I'm gonna say Taylor Swift because one, I want to go tour her amazing like 7 mansions and see how awesome they are. Two, I want to wear her clothes because they look awesome. And three, I want to go play with her cats, to be completely honest. So, um, 22. What Disney princess did you find to be the most attractive?
Cinderella.
Really? I'm surprised by
Yeah.
your answer. Classy answer. I feel like everyone's like Jasmine every time. Most attractive Disney princess to me. Um, I'm gonna be the stereotypical one and say Jasmine. For some reason, when I was growing up, I always just thought Jasmine was like super pretty, and I wanted her teal outfit that she wore, and so yeah,
Yeah, but the other thing to remember though too, when that movie came out, I was watching it with my kids, so
that is valid
that
point. All
yeah,
right,
so
all
I didn't
right.
really
Look,
see things that way.
showing your
Yeah.
age again, showing your age again. Number 23. What country would you never want to visit?
North Korea.
Yeah, I think we're in agreement on that. I'm gonna go with North Korea as well. Number 24. What scene from a non-horror movie scared you as a child?
Hmm.
I gotta think on this.
Okay. Okay. It was definitely was not a horror movie. The Oh my gosh. There was a in E.T. when all those white suited government
Oh my
people
God,
were doing all
yes.
the stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
when they were and like they had ET on the table and all that.
Hmm.
That was pretty traumatic. And here's the thing is I really wasn't a kid when I saw that. I was definitely older when I saw that, but that was probably the uh, a decent answer to this question is scary non-horror movies because because when I think of scares, almost all my stuff is from horror movies. So
Yeah. No, that's a good answer. Um, I'm gonna say for some reason it like completely traumatized me, but there's a scene in Roger Rabbit where it's been so long since I've seen it, but I vaguely remember like a cement roller like flattening somebody
oh yeah
or some machine flattening somebody, and it like as a child just fucked with me. I was like, oh my God,
yeah.
they just flattened that thing. Oh my God, it was horrible. So, and then okay, this is embarrassing, but when I was a kid, The Little Mermaid, King Triton scared the shit out of me. But when I was a kid, I had this fear of beards. Like, I don't know why, but anyone with a beard scared the daylights out of me. Santa, hated Santa. King Triton, hated him. Which is really funny because now beards are like the most attractive trait on a man to me. So, why I was terrified of beards as a kid, I don't know. I even had bed sheets that had um, The Little Mermaid on them, and
Oh
I
my
would
gosh.
not sleep anywhere near where King Triton was on the pattern because it scared me. Like, so any scene in Little Mermaid with King Triton, I was always like, oh, Jesus, this kid just scared the daylights out of me. Very bizarre, but it's true. Um, so the last question we're gonna do these in sets of 25 so that they're not like forever long. It's already forever long. So the last question we're gonna do is number 25 today. And it's what kind of phone was your first cell phone?
Huh. I don't even remember. I think I got my first cell phone would have been 1996, and I think it was a Nextel, but not the kind you chirp with.
Right. I think mine was a Nokia. It was like a Nokia like brick phone, and I think it was
Yeah,
my parents and they gave it to me.
mine was not a Nokia, but I'm pretty. I want to say it was it was a Nextel, but I get the feeling I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think mine was the Nokia. I just remember it was my parents, and when I went to high school and when I started driving, they were like, "You have to have a cell phone now," but they wouldn't let me have one before then. But they really weren't that big of a thing, even till
Yeah.
I was like mid high school. So yeah. All right. Well, that was the first 25 questions. I'm sorry if we bored the daylights out of all of you, but we just thought this would be fun and different and just unique to any of my other videos I've done so far on my YouTube channel. So thank you for tuning in. And Harvey, thank you for answering a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
dumb questions.
Yeah, it was
And,
fun.
and I'm looking forward to the next 25 soon. Hope you guys all have a great night. Take care.